Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so I'm Joanne, or known as Jo. I'm from Abacus Financial Services in Gibraltar. Abacus is a traditional financial services firm specializing in company management. And you may wonder what we're doing here because we are not launching a token sale, at least not at the moment. So I think the previous panel discussion we've just heard is extremely interesting because I believe that there is a gap between sort of bridging the old, the traditional, and the new, and about working together and making it happen. How do we do it? It's about all these different ideas, different scenarios. Yes, we want to move financial services forward, but we want to do it in a in a good, in a high quality way. We want to adhere to the principles of corporate governance, but we also want to embrace the exciting revolution that is ahead of us, and we want this, to be exciting. We want to make it happen, but we want to do it properly. And I believe that is the message that has been coming across very loud and clear today. And also, I've been hearing it from a long time now, back in Gibraltar. So just move on to the slides. The reason that I'm here today and that I'm talking is I'm building up on what Phil Young from the Gibraltar Block Exchange said this morning. He talked about Gibraltar. He talked about the regulation. He talked in detail about the principles, about how Gibraltar is embracing this. And what I would like to do is not repeat what he said, but embrace it, build on it, and explain how a traditional financial services firm can actually support the industry, how we can help people achieve this in a responsible manner. So yes, Gibraltar, my title was an exciting destination. There's been a lot of interest generated, and yesterday we have a stand in the exhibition, and it was very interesting yesterday to have a lot of inquiries, and what very serious professional people, some of you amongst this room I'm sure were asking us, was why Gibraltar? And if we are interested in Gibraltar, how can we do it? What do we have to do? We've seen the regulation, we know it's in place, but how do we go about it? What are the steps to be taken? Where is the guidance? And where is not just the guidance, but the professional guidance, the hand-holding, the steer from experienced business professionals. And our firm, Abacus, has been around for over 40 years with an accounting history, company management, professional financial services. So we're well placed to give you that steer, to go through the process for applying for a business license in Gibraltar. So we have a look at the slide. I'm very proud to be here representing Gibraltar because we're very fortunate that we have a government that has really embraced this and shown a genuine desire to participate, but to do it properly, to do it responsibly, to do it in a way that is sustainable and that has the potential to work. Yes, it's a high-risk part of the financial services sector, but if done appropriately and with the right guidance, it has a higher chance of success. So with regards to the regulation that has come in, what this does, it embraces the concept of using blockchain, of token sales, and so on, but it does it with a positive mindset and, as I said, a very responsible approach. It's viewed everything as an opportunity, not a threat. We don't mind the industry being disturbed. We welcome it, as long as it's done responsibly. And the regulation, a proper DLT regulatory framework with 9 principles that embrace the principles that any successful business should have. It's about integrity. It's about submitting yourself to a regulatory process. And this is the key. It's about having a good business plan, having a focus as much as is possible, as any business would, having a bit of stress testing, what's the worst case scenario? What happens if what I want to happen just doesn't happen? What happens if suddenly my supplier of this hardware doubles prices? That's outside of my control. So what do I do? How will that affect my business plan? It's about giving it thought, proper serious thought, and about formalizing that in an application, in consultation with professional advisors, legal advisor, with the regulators. Gibraltar is very lucky to have very professional, accessible regulators. They want this to work. We want this to work. So, they're available within our support network for discussion, for consultation. It's not necessarily we get it right the first time, but as we have open dialogue and we talk about it, we go back to the plan and we create something that can work, something that investors can put their money in, understand the concept of high risk, high reward, absolutely, but to do it responsibly. So what the Gibraltar regulation does is not light touch. It's not an easy, quick, fast process, but it aims to be effective. It aims to be a process whereby you submit your business to this vetting procedure, you answer questions, everything gets checked, your IT security systems, who you are, the anti-money laundering requirements, know your customer, due diligence, everything that a good business needs. But what it is, it's, once you get that business license, there are loads of benefits, because basically what you do is puts your business in a different league. It's a stamp of quality. It's about differentiating between, who's good, who's had that quality stamp on, and who hasn't. And what this does, it brings legitimacy in a new, uncertain industry, and it brings credibility. And when you're asking your investors for money, or you're pitching, if you're regulated versus a non-regulated firm, you have a much higher chance of people wanting to put money in you. So basically what I'm here representing today is about the ecosystem, the support system that Gibraltar has for fintech startups. So very quickly, that's just some words that came to mind when I was thinking, why Gibraltar? What qualities sort of describe Gibraltar? And these are very, very quickly, I just made a note of what came to mind. And this is how I would, at a glance, describe Gibraltar. And this is, for example, it's no coincidence, that the most largest and successful gaming companies in the world actually chose Gibraltar as their home. And what I found really interesting about this slide, and the reason I decided to include it today, is that when I think about a fintech, and from what I understand, from what I've spoken to people about, fintechs, in my opinion, also have these qualities. So therefore, it's no surprise, that Gibraltar and the way Gibraltar views the industry and fintechs, they work well together. So our ecosystem obviously starts with the government introducing this regulation to be the first out there to represent a high-quality business. The regulator then going through all the hard work of assessing the licenses and giving the right guidance and the right support to the industry. Legal advisors, very importantly, which we at Abacus work very closely with, and absolutely necessary to draft the white paper, to come up with the advice, because the regulation doesn't cover absolutely everything. So the first step is, what is your business plan? What's your business model? Are you in scope or are you out of scope of the regulation? Then we work very closely with Phil and Nick and his team at the Gibraltar Blockchain Exchange, and at Abacus we're applying to become one of those sponsors, so we can help you if you're interested in being listed. We can help do all the due diligence for you. This is where we come in, and the next one here is company managers, because that's what we do. We can incorporate your company in Gibraltar if you choose to relocate there. We can provide corporate directors or resident individual directors. We can do your accounting. We can do everything you need to actually establish a presence in Gibraltar. Gibraltar is a low tax jurisdiction, so that always helps. Corporation tax at 10%, And in the majority of cases, there's no capital gains tax, there's no VAT, no inheritance tax, wealth tax. So that's always an attraction itself. Banks, I've heard that this morning already, that it's difficult to open a bank account, and we agree because traditionally banks have a low tolerance for risk or low risk appetite. And that is true, but in Gibraltar, it's about this sense of community, it's about working together. The banks get reassurance from the fact that things are being done properly. And at Abacus, we are an authorized intermediary, so if we submit, we can help you open the bank account. If we submit the application, they know that we have really got to know our clients and vetted the procedure. Then office space, we can help find you quality office space in Gibraltar that we qualify with the requirements of applying for a license. Then at Abacus, we're also sponsors for the startup grind. So again, it's about all that innovation and encouraging and supporting entrepreneurs. There's a very skilled workforce, very dynamic. So in Gibraltar, it is easy to, if you do relocate there, if you need to recruit people, that's easy as well. And we have all, the telecommunication and transport links. So what we do is we help you obtain a legal opinion from a lawyer to determine if the regulation applies to you. We help you, together with a lawyer, to apply for business license. We help you incorporate your Gibraltar company. We guide you all the way, and obviously we can open a bank account and we can help list you with a GBX. So our focus is to get to know you and understand how you work and build a long-term relationship with your company in Gibraltar. And this is everything that we do at a glance. There's more to it, but we help with all the tax compliance, the accounting, the bank accounts, everything you need to have a compliant company in Gibraltar. And the idea is to help you and guide you and support you all the way. So if Gibraltar sounds like an attractive place, if you are interested, we have an exhibition stand out here where we'll be happy to answer all your questions. And another thing I wanted to mention, for those of you who have heard about Gibraltar, think it sounds like a good place, but you're not 100% sure about it, there is the Gibraltar International Fintech Forum that is being hosted on the 28th of February. It's a 2-day event. So what I would say is I'd invite you to come and see Gibraltar, come and visit us and find out for yourselves if that's something that would work. Thank you very much.